Greetings everyone, Ken McAuliffe here with Stereophile Magazine, Mark Henninger behind the camera. To my left, Ines Adler of Voxativ, and we're here to talk about her new Hagen 2 loudspeaker, the base version that Herb Reichert reviewed for Stereophile, now upgraded with a new Alnico magnet driver assembly. Tell us about the upgrade, Ines.
So the story behind the driver is that there is a lot of rumor about Alnico magnets. So I decided to make an Alnico magnet that has exactly the same magnetical force than our neodymium driver, which is normally inside. So I have a finite element magnetic simulation on the computer, and I could design an Alnico magnet with exactly the same magnetical force than the neodymium one. And this is what I did. And then I produced the driver. So we have two drivers with different magnets, but exactly the same force. And then I compared the sound, and I was totally amazed. There's a lot of rumor about Alnico magnets.
Yeah, what is the rumor about Alnico magnets?
I wanted to find out. And when I measure, both magnets have exactly the same power, and the Alnico sounds better. I don't know where that is. I really don't know. But I know to make magnets, yes. And I did not discover it. But anyway, it sounds absolutely fabulous. So, and this is what I did. I produced the magnet, I made the driver, I put it in, and yeah, you can hear it. It's so wonderful.
And here you're showing it with the Albrecht woofer.
Yeah, this is a complete system we call Albrecht system. This contains the Hagen with every driver you want, and an active woofer system with 500 watt class D that we also had in the big one that you reviewed in DC last November. And yeah, so a bit smaller, more luxury feed now down there, and yeah, this is a system sells for $19,900 US dollar.
How much is the Hagen 2 by itself with this Alnico?
It's $8,900.
8,000. And you're showing it here along with your own amps. You're also showing it with a Cambridge integrated and I forgot what the DAC is below.
The DAC is Cambridge and the amplifier is musical fidelity.
Right, and it still has your sound, which is pretty impressive. You know, I think of your sound as, it's very, very dramatic. It's a big sound, it's super dynamic, and it's amazing to hear what we think of as mid-fi gear with these upper tier speakers. It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, the idea was to show that this speaker worked with every electronic mid-price solid-state amplifier like the musical fidelity. It's the M5 SI. It's $1,800, and a cheaper streamer DAC. This is the Cambridge EXN 100, also $1,700. So this is not much.
Right.
And of course, you can drive it with our wonderful tube amplifiers, but they cost as much as the speakers. And we wanted to show this plays with your average electronics you have at home. And that was the idea behind it, and it works.
Yeah, it really works in this room. It's fantastic. You have a very, you hold patents and things that have nothing to do with audio. You have a very quick mind. Your company just evolves very quickly in the different products you always have coming out.
Thank you for this.
You don't really rest. You put out more iterations of products than a lot of companies do that I've seen. What's that constant inspiration source for you?
The loudspeakers are musical instruments for me, because I never learned to play the piano, which is what I always wanted, but I never got used to. So then later I started to collect old loudspeakers from old radios, loudspeaker drivers, put them on pieces of wood when I was 13. So this is more than 40 years ago. And I loved that. That was musical instruments for me, and I kept it all my life. After my engineering studies and my work for Mercedes-Benz, I founded Voxativ, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life: make musical instruments. And of course, every new sound amazes me, and this is the reason why I'm so creative behind that.
Yeah, you're very creative. That's the word. And who are the different manufacturers that use your full range drivers now?
We have mostly Pure Audio Project. This is the most famous one. Steve Guttenberg has them as a reference.
Loves those.
So in New York, that's one, and three companies. But mostly Pure Audio Project, and they make very good sales with them.
This is like a typical, looks like a German train station.
There's
my Peugeots way in the back. They should be closer up to the front.
It's in Schöneberg where I live. It is in the city west. And the train station, I made this photo by myself with a smartphone.
Oh, wow.
So, but I don't ask the person here for permission to distribute the picture anyway.
They're coming now.
Yeah,
They're going to line up for their royalties.
Yeah, so it's the same speaker that Herb reviewed, a Nico magnet driver, and and this opening is it's a backloaded horn.
Huh.
Very, very short, and inside a little bit ideas also inside. It's not simply 6 pieces of wood. It is more thinking behind, because as you know, Herb wrote that also the bottom end very strong. Of course, with the woofer system, you can extend the bottom end and linear to 20 hertz, but and then it becomes a different animal. That's clear.
Are there dedicated Voxativ stands for these?
Of course we have.
Oh, you do?
If you have a very small room, like I would say 30 square inch or something, then you don't need a woofer system. This plays wonderful as a near field monitor.
Right. Wow. And you changed the color. Different color?
Not yet. These new drivers of the new black cone series are all new drivers, and they distinguish with the color from the older version that have these white or yellow cones.
Right, right.
So everything that is new, also here in the big one, with black cone means driver younger than 2024.
So you won't change it in the Ampegio, though. It'll stay that color driver.
We can offer it,
right.
So we can upgrade that. But after the Ampegio is how can I say this? With the Hagen, we enter a new area. It makes our speakers a little bit more friendly for the average customer, not for the super high resolution listener who do not like our or who may not like our speakers when the resolution gets too high.
Right.
So that is the reason we want to be more applicable for the average customer.
That's great. And this flared design, that's not cosmetic.
That's not cosmetic. What you see, those T's here, the yellow one, this is the body of the voice coil.
Huh.
So the voice coil body is glued to the whizzer cone first, and then the woofer cone is coming from the back, and then everything is glued together. We make these with our hands, of course, and this is why it looks so funny. With the black, you see the contrast. When the cone was yellow, you did not see that. That's the same story, but you did not see that. And with the black one, it becomes visible. You know.
I forgot to mention that this is the world debut of Ines's black cone with a new Nico magnet and driver system. This is also the world debut of her new Streamer DAC 2. Which is kind of a new terrain for you doing DACs. You said you actually had one before, but it wasn't up to snuff, it sounds like you were saying.
Exactly.
So tell us about this.
So the idea was to have the complete chain made by Voxativ. We have those amplifiers as a 211, as an 805. And this is all brass. Of course, this is no plastic on Voxativ amplifiers. And I decided to make a streamer. But that was not so easy, because you find streaming chips on the market, you find software, you find DACs that you can buy, and you can solder it all together, but it never sounds good. So we decided to make a real project with 5 engineers to develop really a system that is on the same sound level as Voxativ. So we took the chip from Streamer Limited. It's the same one that Burmester takes. It's really a high-level streaming chip, because you cannot do this by yourself. And then the rest is created by us. The complete PCB, streaming chip on, and then you have to program the connections to the DAC. We are using the highest level ESS chips, channel separated, 5 transformer power supply, a very good converters inside, a solid state output, no tube output as we had before, because it lacked a bit of resolution. Now we have an SNR of 140 dB, so we are on the same level as the other big guys.
Wow.
But it is not only technical things. It sounds like Voxativ. We have an extreme resolution, it is musical, and it matches our chain. So this was the idea behind. I'm very happy that we did that. There was a long way, because only the transistors inside. We did not simply solder them in. We bought hundreds of them, measured them, selected them.
Wow.
And that was a big job. That was not me. That was Stefan, my electrical engineer. He made that. He soldered that. He created the PCB. And that's all made in Germany. And I'm very happy that we did that. And the sound is incredible.
Yeah, you're right. It's part of your sound. I heard it earlier. That big, dramatic, bold sound. But even though when I listen to the arpeggios, I don't even think about that. They integrate so beautifully with all my tube gear. So what does this sell for?
This sells for $20,000.
It's big.
Yeah, only the power supply makes half of the housing
Wow.
volume, because 5 transformers and a big cooling aluminium block with 5 voltage regulators and everything.
Wow.
This fills nearly half of the housing, because the streaming chip is small, and the DAC chips are like this, and the rest is Voxativ.
When you're evaluating the sound of like a new piece like this in your factory or your system, which of your speakers are you most likely to use to evaluate something like that, or a new amplifier?
We do take 3 types of speakers. This, first of all, is the arpeggio, because the arpeggio is our longest produced speaker, and we have a new upgraded driver for it, and I know absolutely the sound in my ears. So first of all, we listen to this one, and then we listen to a little bit lower resolution systems like our Hagen, and then to the highest, which is the 988, and it must match with all of them, and then we are good. So. And what we found out, that mostly the body of the streamer duct, which is very powerful, helps a lot to play those pure full range based loudspeakers of Voxativ. This means the Hagen and also the arpeggio. You feel you have more bass because you have such a big pressure in the bottom end. So yeah, this is a making. First of all, we measure, but then at one point we listen. And the development is finished when the listening is finished, and not when the measuring is finished. So having 140 dB SNR means nothing, because it's measuring.
Right.
When 140 dB sound good, then we are through. And this is Voxativ. So we had 1 year only listening, and then make a new current to voltage converter. We made, I think, 20 of them.
Wow.
Because this influences the sound incredibly of the DAC. And so we made them pluggable into the PCB, and listen, next one, listen, next one.
A year of listening.
A year of listening and developing. We worked 4 years on this product.
Wow.
And yeah, that's.
So what's next?
What's next? Let's see.
Your mind is moving so quickly.
No. I don't want that people think that we are changing our product line quickly. We don't do that. Remember, the arpeggio we sell since 20 years, and we still do that.
Right.
So, but what I'm planning for, maybe not next year, but the year behind, is an oligarch loudspeaker. Because it is more like a light fire on the coast. You know, should not be our thing where we make our money with, but the people on the street, when they see you have a speaker for $500,000, then they come to your room. And at the end of the day, they buy the smaller ones.
Right.
And that's good. So we will make one of those monster speakers that are totally insane.
So will it be based on the 988?
No, it will be completely
something
different.
new.
We're still working on it. But what we keep is this ripole-based construction. That's clear. That will be inside. We will never use normal woofer systems.
With a full range driver of some sort.
Because that matches perfectly. It's quick, it's fast, it's much faster than normal cone speakers in, I don't know, reflex or closed sealed enclosures. So we will keep the open ripole, that's clear. So, but it will be 2 meters high. This is, I think, 6 to 7 feet. And yeah, it will be a monster. But we will have that only to show, okay, Voxativ can do that. And okay, I'm not unhappy if I sell it.
And it'll be here next year.
Next year is no more show.
Oh, that's right. It'll be there next year. It'll be in Vienna next year.
And hopefully next year we are ready. I'm not sure. Maybe the year after.
I'm just kidding, but yeah.
But I'm working on it only as a marketing thing, and I'm sure it will sound wonderful.
I'm sure it will.
And yeah, if I sell, why not?
Great. Thanks, Ines.
Thank you, Ken, for coming and interviewing.
My
I'm
pleasure.
very
Thank
happy
you
to
so
meet
much.
you. Yeah.
Great to see you again.
Thank you.